Hey guys, Rocco here. Today I'm going to be doing a breakdown of my most recent video, my 2019 recap video, as I would describe it. And it was highly requested that I would go into more depth on how I edited it and filmed it. So that's what I'm going to be going over with you guys today. So first I'm just going to play the video, but I'm going to have the timeline in DaVinci Resolve open below it so you can see the keyframing and just the general layout of the whole video. Then I'm going to go into depth on some parts that were a bit more complicated, and I'm going to explain how I did them, not too in-depth because this video would be forever long if I explained every single second of the video, but hopefully this should just allow you to see a bit more of how I edit things and just to show a bit more of my editing style. So without any further ado, let's get into that, and then afterwards I shall go into depth and explain some more things about the video.
We wake up by the sunrise, and you're staring back at me. I hold on to the moment as we cast it out to sea. And the lights come on, reflecting off your skin. So burning stars are all we are, ignited from within. It's your heart and soul, it's your flesh and bones. Don't you let it go. You're the storm I find, bursting through my sky, taking no control. It's your heart and soul. It's your heart and soul. I will pull you from the places that you see. Fly away from the darkness to a paradise sweet dream. And the lights still shine, reflecting off our skin. So burning stars are all we are, igniting from within. Soul, it's your flesh and bones. Don't you let it go. You're the storm I find, bursting through my sky, taking no control. It's your heart and soul. It's your heart and soul. Shining tonight. We'll be shining. We'll be shining. We'll be shining tonight. We'll be shining. We'll be shining. We'll be shining tonight. It's your heart and soul. be shining, we'll be shining tonight.
Okay, so that was the timeline and the whole clip, obviously. And there's basically, I consider it to have like three different sections. So there's, three different beat drops essentially to the song. And so each beat drop just kind of went through a different section of the year. So first I started out with the stuff from January, February, March, and April. Like that's like the winter into spring section. So like the first beat drop was the stuff from January. Probably was familiar to my longtime viewers who probably watched the January montage and all the other things. And then it kind of transitioned into February and then into March. And the way I use the transitions were speed ramps, and they weren't like the normal speed ramps I use. I usually, well, kind of all speed ramps are technically the same in terms of technical speaking, but these are much more like less subtle speed ramps. I was doing more like in my other montages I would do like very fast speed ramps that were synced up to the music, but this song was a bit harder to sync to the music, and if you weren't like attuned to the song, then you wouldn't really be thinking about it that much, and it would like the speed ramps wouldn't make sense. So I try to make them subtle, but it's still a good way to transition between clips. If you want me to go a bit more in depth on how I speed ramp, I can certainly do that, but for the general like average person, speed ramping is just changing the clip speed, and then if you want to go into the DaVinci curves thing, which is what you see below all those clips, and just change the like the I don't really know how to describe it, but it's like a curve essentially, and you can smooth it or just leave it as it is. So yeah, that was the majority of the transitions in that video were speed ramps, and then there were just regular cuts. And regular cuts are fine, especially since this song, like you don't want to over edit to a song like this. This song was more of a simple song, a song that was just meant for, just a happy, general, like, fun song, and I just wanted to edit to the song, but not, like, to every single beat. So I had some fast moments and there are slower moments in the song, obviously, so I just kind of went through and made sure the footage went to that as well. And then for the sound effects, as you can tell, essentially every single sound in that video was custom made, because my drone can't record audio, and for the most part this year I was using my drone, my Spark, and my Evo, and there were some camera shots with my gimbal, but I'm still working on that stuff, and hopefully this year you'll see a lot more of that. But for the drone, it doesn't record audio because all you would hear is propellers, so I had to just go in and add my own effects. And if you go back to where the whole video played, you can see that they're just MP3 files. So what I do is I go onto YouTube and I type in like non-royalty and royalty-free just sound effects, and there's usually download links in the descriptions of each of those like videos, and you search them up and you search for the sound you're looking for, and then you can just download it from them. Hopefully there's no virus, be careful. It's the internet, you never know. But you go through and then you just drag them in, and then you just make sure that you don't are not abruptly changing from sound to sound, and they're not too loud, they're not too quiet. You want to build an atmosphere around your clips. And sometimes if I were to I feel like at the beginning I put too much of the windiness from like the drone, up in the air, there's wind and stuff, that sound. I put a little too much, but it is what it is. I mean, it's not really that noticeable, but as someone who edited the video in and out, I know all of its flaws more than the average person would. And it is a good video. It's probably one of the best videos I've made, in my opinion. But I see a lot of flaws in it, which can be fixed, and hopefully I will address in this next year. I have lots of time to improve and make my videos and craft much better. So yeah, the speed ramping, sound design, it's just search up something that would be a prominent sound in that clip, and then just put it below there and make sure it fades in and out, and it's not too loud either, that it just feels like you're in the place. You want to immerse the viewer, and that's what I was trying to do. And yeah, essentially just for the whole like winter and spring section, it was either like a snow sound, the ice cracking sound, because when I was flying at the bay in January, the bay was frozen and I was flying over, but when I was actually there was the sound the ice was cracking. So I just added that in, and it actually worked pretty well, and I had to retime the clip because it was like regular ice, like from a fridge, that's what the clip was that I got from YouTube. But I just retimed it, slowed it down a bit, and then muffled it using the audio tab in DaVinci Resolve, which is complicated, and if you want me to go into more depth, I can in a separate video. I'm trying to keep this video as short as possible. But essentially, yeah, throughout the whole first two beat drops, you know, first winter, then summer, and summer, of course, went through the time at the beach, time at back at the bay, chasing the boats, for the recap video I made for a camp that I went to, and then there was a lot of stuff in the summer, and then there was Ethiopia, of course. I went to Ethiopia, and then all that footage, well, not all of it, there was thousands and thousands of photos and videos, but I put some of my best footage in there, and yeah, just keyframe through it. And then I did a masking transition, which isn't actually that hard to do in DaVinci Resolve, but it's hard to explain. But once you get the tab open, it's relatively straightforward. I don't really want to go into depth on how to do one, but basically you just draw out the mask path and then you keyframe it throughout. I'll leave it. I didn't know how to do this until I was searching it up, and I was like, how on earth do I do this? Because surprisingly, it's not in the Fusion tab of DaVinci Resolve. It's in the Color tab, which is for colors, but masking for clips is somehow in there, which doesn't make sense to me, but that's what it is. So yeah, I'll leave the video that I watched on the tutorial on that in the description, so you guys can watch that and get some more knowledge if you want to. But I'm not an expert in DaVinci Resolve, so I really don't think I should like explain like how to do that, because I would probably explain something wrong. And I'm still relatively new to the software. I know what I'm doing, but I still don't know everything. So yeah, that's the whole thing with this software. I switched from Premiere Pro, and I'm loving it. I love DaVinci Resolve. It's much faster than Premiere Pro, and no compromises, essentially. Just everything is a bit more complicated. So yeah, I'll probably make more videos once I get into the the process and understanding how it works and all that. But yeah, the masking, relatively simple. Just draw up the mask and keyframe it. Most filmmakers would know what that is. It is fairly complicated for a beginner, but it's not that important. You don't always need it. I just thought it would be cool to add in there, so that's what I did. Yeah, so then there's the part which a lot of you asked about. People on my Instagram asked about it. People in the comment section on YouTube asked about it. It's the part after the lens kiss transition with that kid, where he actually grabbed my camera while I was holding it on my gimbal, and he went just straight up smooched my camera lens, which luckily wasn't a very expensive lens, and it was easy to clean. But I actually used that as a transition, just literally zoomed in and made the opacity go down. And then there's the clip with me holding the A7 III, the 7200 on it, put it up to my eye, and then click the button and the shutter goes, and then it, as you saw, the part with all the photos. And essentially what that is, each and every clip is just 2 frames. Each photo is 2 frames long. I set it 2 frames each, and for each clip, it's set at the base zoom, and it zooms in, and then it fades into the next clip. So it's literally bottom, top, it's just zooming. So for 2 frames, it's just straight up zooming. That's all there is for each and everything, and it's caught like essentially I had to, just make it so it zooms in for each clip. And then to make it transition a bit better, I added the burn to make like the burn transition, which is a little basic, but it worked well. So I added it so it just flows better, and it looks a bit like film, like yeah, you're using film, and the film is burnt, and you're just going through all my photos. And then obviously I did the camera shutter sounds in the background, and that I feel like that sells the effect, because without the camera shutter sounds, it would look kind of weird, just like going through all the photos with just the music wouldn't, because that's why sound design is important. I spent a good chunk of my time on the sound design, but yeah, that's essentially it. Then at the end, it's just more speed ramping and stuff from September, October, November, and December, and then there's the last few clips of some slow motion stuff, and then there's the title thing at the end. It just says 2019, and the 19 goes down, and I have it fade. Basically, I've had it so keyframes the 19 to fade out as the 20 comes down on top of it and fades in. So it's like, yeah, and then because it's 2019 going into 2020, and now it's 2020. So yeah, that's essentially like my breakdown of the video. If you want me to do more in-depth on like my speed ramping and certain things, I can certainly do that. But this video, I try to keep it mostly simple. Speed ramping is easy for me because I do it all the time, but I understand for others it's not. And if you want, I will drop a speed ramping tutorial. Just let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed the video, be sure to like and subscribe. And hopefully I'll see everyone in some future videos. So thanks for watching, guys.